on Mondays and Fridays when we are having the most volume, if you're doing an intraday trade, once you have locked in profit, so let's say you're up 10% and then you lock in 3% and let it run, give it 1 to 6 hours. You can't sit on top of your trade and watch it the entire time. You have to walk away. The same way you do not watch your long-term investments grow hour by hour or minute by minute. Once you are locked in profit and then you are in a zero risk of losing any of, or zero probability of losing any money on the trade, you have to walk away. And then 4, there is no profit without practice. Let me say it again. There is no profit without practice. There are so many people who are looking to get rich and wealthy who don't want to have a competitive edge, don't want to have scale, and don't want to master a craft. That is called hopium. It is an illusion. It is bullshit. It does not exist. So you need 300 practice trades in order to be good, 900 practice trades to be exceptional, and 3,000 trades to be great. And I said it this weekend, but does this make sense now? Because some of you are getting destroyed in some of your positions. And last year when I was like, hey, you have to go practice, you were like, you don't hear that shit. I don't want to I need to get to the bag. But the illusion of last year is that the Fed was printing like a quarter of all the money that was ever printed got printed last year. So that gave a different level of volatility. The conditions that we're in right now are not the same. Doesn't make sense why I said to go practice, because now you're in a different market, different levels of volatility and different players in the market. So the gains are not as easy. But if you practice your craft, it's easier to be able to win, and regardless of what the market is doing. And let's be real. There's not one person on earth that has amassed wealth that has not taken some time to get good at their craft. There's not one athlete, not one rapper, not one entertainer that practiced for 2 or 3 hours and all of a sudden millions fell into their lap. It is a fantasy. So nobody's on the beach. Just shout out to everybody who tuned into the live yesterday, but you get my drift, right? Here are some of the top companies in the CAC 40. So this is the French stock market. So when I was in New York, I went by like the Barclays investment bank, and then they had the CAC 40 out there. So most of the companies in the CAC, such as L'Oreal, Michelin, BNP, AXA, have large operations in foreign markets. So as a whole, a lot of these companies have international operations, and these are the biggest ones. So Sanofi, LVMH, which a lot of you are familiar with, and then P&B. I want you to go do your homework tonight and go see what the top 10 companies are in the CAC 40. Here's what I'm seeing. Everyone is copying the same picks and stocks over and over again. And then when it doesn't work, you're like, what happened to ARK W? I'm like, I told you they were going to attack her because of the gains. You have to know every market, right? So Google and see what the top 10 are. And that way, regardless of what any market is doing, you can have exposure to other markets and be able to have an edge. Question for you. What are the top 3 publicly traded companies in Mexico? If you do not know, it is a homework assignment. So for those of you that have a little bit more capital, and let's say you have $100,000 to $2,000 to invest, when you look internationally, you may not be looking for the safest gains, but you may be looking for companies that provide the lowest drawdown. International companies may not have the volatility of American companies, but they may provide you a safe haven. But my job is to train you guys to be the best investors on the planet. You can't just know 9 companies in the United States in order to achieve that. So if you don't know, go look it up. Homework assignment number 2. What are the top publicly traded companies in India? Because what if in 3 years or in 2027, the world goes to shit, and then all of a sudden the Federal Reserve may not print as much money as before? The best time to prepare about a crash or to worry about a severe drawback is when everything is going great. The time to prepare is not when your house is on fire. You have to prepare beforehand. I gave this before, but I want to give another one. These are the 3 prices that will be ideal to get into Bitcoin for long-term holdings only. So the load to boat price would be $39,487.70. Screenshot this, please. Second price, $42,997.98. And Mike said that was a pretty good institutional level. So what you guys are starting to realize is some of the prices that I am giving out as a pretty damn good retail investor, I'm giving you institutional buy-in prices. And then if it slides back down to 51,577, 17, that would be a good area to hold. Hold these for 5 years. Trading has considerable risk. So if you're trading this, don't do it. Investing has considerable risk. If it does not fit your risk parameters, don't do it. But these are the 3 prices we're looking at for Bitcoin. I hate to say it, Apple may be the greatest company run in the history of all companies. Like for a company that is a $2 trillion company, quiz time. What's the total market cap of all publicly traded companies in the United States of America? So Apple reported their second quarter results, absolutely amazing. They're up 54%. So services and Mac revenue reached an all-time high, and I'll get to it later, but AirPods is absolutely destroying most businesses. I don't know why. And you guys can tell me in chat right now, why don't you like Apple if you're not investing into it? It's one of the safest companies to invest in. And secondly, if you go look at what the annual drawdown is how much it will go from top to bottom. It has one of the safest drawdowns. And that's why a lot of funds, when you look at their weighting, Apple is at the top, because the only thing, and I want you to go back and listen to Mike's episode, the only thing that matters in investing is how much money can you avoid losing. Risk. I know everyone wants the big gains, 1,500%. Great. I've known people that have got 1,500% return and then they've blown up their account in less than 3 months. Invest in safe companies. I don't see Apple falling apart anytime soon. If Tim Cook walks away and they don't have a good replacement, maybe my stance will change. But as of right now, the amount of money that they are able to print is absolutely amazing. So these are lessons from a Stoic that I need you guys to take in, because not only do I want you to have financial freedom, but I want you to have mental health and happiness as well. So if you are intelligent, you won't be offended by being wrong. And as investors and traders, we're wrong every day. Either we bought too much of an asset at a bad price, or we bought too little of an asset at a good price. But we're never 100% right every day. If you've mastered the skill, you won't be hurt by failure. And the truth is, you will only learn to become a master by failing a lot. The reason why my playbook on investing is so thick, because I made a lot of dumb decisions, a lot of dumb mistakes. So when some of you are like, hey, you're arrogant, I'm like, you can't be a trader in futures and be arrogant. It is impossible. My Spanish is improving while I'm out here, you know? But honestly, as a trader, it is impossible to be cocky and profitable at the same time. If you possess character, you'll be indifferent in praise and criticism. Never get too high on the compliments and never get too low on the critiques. And if you're internally at peace, you will not be angered by reality. Accept things for what they are.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.